Good morning. So I want to make note of this dream just because one, there's a question about an area that I saw in this particular dream that I have no idea about, and also there are there's one or two, one more serious thing that I felt like it was a warning that I guess I should share with everyone just because I don't think I received it for any just for no reason, not just for my own individual purpose, okay? And one thing I forgot about until I saw it on CBS News this morning. I just subbed to their YouTube channel, but it's not up on there, but I'll show you what I saw. This has three parts. The last part has to do with my son, which is nothing bad, but I'll just leave it out. I was passing through a town and I stopped to a local grocery store. It reminded me of the Harris Teeter, and their slogan is our neighborhood store or something like that. Okay, I got a bottle of red wine. A guy in the store had a bit of an accent, like he was from a different state or something, you guys. And he said, "You got that 303." I'm from 303. I looked closer at the dark bottle and it said something like it had a larger name, but in the finer print it said 303 something. Okay, it looked like it was its secondary name, but also because of its secondary name, it was a nickname that this guy was referring to, that they some people called it for short. Okay, I'll stop right there. Yesterday I did go to Harris Teeter, our local grocery store, and I went for some vegetables yesterday. And the wine in that particular store is right next to the vegetables. So a bottle of wine did catch my attention just because they had moved everything around. And this particular wine was very close to the vegetable section. So it reminded me of the dream, okay? Also, on the outside of the store in the dream, you guys, it says, I know that this place in this town was a place where I assume missile strikes were about to happen and had happened at some point. There was no, I saw a couple of ladies that were on their way to find shelter or were anticipating it happened just then. And this, on the outside of the store in the dream, you guys, it was a small, it just was a small, I could see buildings. It was a small, like, it was kind of compact, almost like a villagey looking thing, or apartments that were close together that these ladies were standing in front of. I didn't see any damage of any type of strikes or anything, and but these two ladies were standing in the front of that particular scene, and they were going to find shelter. And that's the end of that dream, you guys. So last night, well, first of all, 303, I looked up the area code 303, and that's Colorado and or Denver. Okay, I don't know about any other area codes. I don't know anything about Colorado. I think that as of yesterday, there was some severe weather coming through there, but most of there was a lot of severe weather, but I think this is just one of the states in that area. Also, so I don't know anything about that area. I guess I'll keep a lookout for it. But also, I was looking last night and Ben Denon was talking about a geostorm, a huge one. Let me, a, a magnetic storm, pulsating waves, and solar plasma paused for 11 years to attack the magnetosphere. A flurry of powerful geostrikes attack the earth. So when I heard that, it just was reminding me of the dream, because I didn't see any physical damage where the ladies were standing up. And, with these geostorms and these magnetic pulses and the CMEs and the solar flares, and he talked about it. He was talking about how this is just, one of the, Mike from around the world talked about it. He talked about how some of the scientists and how some of the elites, we're not hearing about it over here, but this article, next article that I'm going to show you, comes from Russia. They talk about it openly, but over here it's classified. And he talked about how it exacerbates physical conditions. Blood pressures go up, people get headaches, they might feel a little dizzy, or whatever. It exacerbates medical conditions. And not only that, but it can interrupt communications. And not only that, he talked about that there might be from what I understand, and I might be wrong, but like a hole in that particular, like as a result of these storms, it may result in like a hole in what we call the dome, or the veil, or the whatever. These are the terms that he talked about, that he said, that he mentioned. He used veil, but I don't think that's a proper description of it. But I know there is a ceiling, if I'm not mistaken, of 33,000 feet that, it's kind of controversial as far as if we can pass it or not. So when he's saying all this, it makes me think that there may be a tear or an opening or a breakdown of that particular dome, or ceiling, if you will. And how, when that happens, you can get asteroids, and bigger asteroids, or the ones that don't have iron content. They kind of bounce off when the magnetosphere is deteriorated, or it may cause a opening in it. Then you basically can let asteroids that might be bounced off come directly in. Okay? He goes into a whole lot of other things. It is a 20-minute video. This is why it took 2 nights, or last night and today, for me to finish it. But it was pretty interesting. He said that his wife suffered from headaches. I mention all this because I suffer from headaches. But when there is solar interruptions in the atmosphere, especially after the stroke, I feel it so much worse. Okay, I can feel it, like, how people say they have arthritis. When the barometric pressure drops, they can feel it in their joints. I start to feel the effects of it, and I know that other people are. So this is why I'm putting it out. Lastly, I'll leave his video below. It is pretty interesting, but he did talk about how and this is pretty big, okay? Magnetic storms, the 19th, 20th, 26th, and 31st. How to protect yourself, okay? Lastly, after I was leaving the ladies, it felt like, and I didn't write it down because I totally forgot about it until I saw this morning on CBS. I didn't get to watch the full story because it was on as soon as I turned on the TV. A humanoid called Atlas. In the dream, I was leaving the ladies, and it seemed as if I was going to, like, the hospital doors, or a place with revolving doors, and this robot humanoid thing was on my heel, and it seemed as if I was on the ground, but I was elevated, and this thing was following me. And I just know that I went inside of this revolving door on the inside, and this, on the inside, and left the humanoid thing on the outside. I wasn't scared or anything. I just knew that while I was leaving those ladies, this thing was on my heels, and whatever car or vehicle that I was in, it seemed to be a little bit more elevated than the robot. And I just, like I said, you guys, this dream was kind of like, what? And still, until I started seeing different things. And definitely, I knew it to be a robot in the dream, but when I saw it more vividly in the report, I was like, that is it. Okay, the colors, the size, the way it moved, it was all just like I see it in my dream. And we know that they are trying to replace humans with AI. That's not new, but I want to maybe go find the CBS report. This is from a year ago, but apparently CBS was just reporting on it just now. I'll play like 20 seconds of this. All right, you guys. So I'll stop it right there. I don't want this video to be too long, but I had to share the humanoid robot thing in my dream. The storms that I believe that they may have been referring to, the ladies in my dream may have been referring to when they talk about missile. I said missile strikes or strikes, but it could be asteroids. Bending does say who knows what's going to happen, but you're in a real vulnerable place, and even the scientists and the elites, they're anticipating it, but they're not talking about it here. If nothing, just know how it can or may affect your health. Okay, and also 303, I think it was the area code. If anybody knows anything about that, let me know. Or if I see anything about it, I'll let you know. All right. I'll talk with you later. I'll leave all videos below. And like I said, I'll talk to you later.